Hello again, everyone, and happy holidays. Today we're taking a bit of a departure from what I've discussed recently, the Crown Royal family. And we're moving on to another one of my favorite spirit family, Appleton rum. And this is today's tastings. We're going to talk about Appleton VX, Appleton Reserve, and then lastly, Appleton 12-year rum. I do have the 21 just to show you the difference in bottle and color and all that good stuff, but quite frankly, when you get over about $125 or so a bottle, I'm not going to necessarily crack it open just for you guys as much as I love you, but this represents kind of what I would like to describe as the beginning of your sipping rum here at the VX, all the way into 12, which is kind of right in the middle of their sipping rum line. Let's tell you a little bit about rum just in general, in case you may not be as educated as some. Rum is a sugarcane-based, molasses-based spirit. You'll find traditionally the big manufacturers of it are distilling in the tropics. They use copper pot stills. But yeah, Appleton's is Jamaican. Some of the good stuff you'll find is from Honduras, Venezuela, Cuba, Puerto Rico. I mean, anywhere south of Florida, there's some good rum being made. Thus, I think the pirates' love of the stuff. But yeah, Appleton's is actually on the, I don't know how many hundreds of acres of Nassau Valley in the center of the country of Jamaica, the island of Jamaica. And on the state, if you will, you get rainwater that filters through miles and miles of limestone, creating wonderfully natural, clean water that they use as their base. And you can taste it once you develop your palate a bit. You can taste the difference between the Appleton's water and the base, opposed to some other stuff you'll see out there. Joy Spencer is your master blender at Appleton's. She's actually the first female master blender of any major spirit organization or company. She came on board in 1997, and I'll get back to that here in a second, but I wanted to just give you an idea of who she was and what they've been doing. They've been distilling for over 260 years now, so they've been doing it quite a long time. They do manufacture a white rum and a very base spiced rum. They really prefer that you drink those in cocktails, mixed drinks. Like I said, this is kind of the base level of sipping rum, and this is very, very common. As you can see on my light here, it's definitely an amber color, a mahogany color, not as dark as these guys are. But this is your base level sipping rum. So I do have one Appleton's glass that I will be using, but I will go ahead and pour a dram of each one of these, and then we can discuss color, nose, legs, all that good stuff. I do have some water here as well to go ahead and wash the palate down. As you notice, as I'm opening these bottles up, there is your lid. It's just the metal twist-off, perforated lid. Matter of fact, I'm just now opening this reserve for the first time, this bottle. That's a knock, in my opinion, on the Appleton's line, is until you reach 21, you're having to choose to buy these bottles with perforated lids, and what happens there is you get leakage and oxidation and things that you don't want, because the metal will expand and contract as your spirit ages, and therefore you're losing some more angel share that you don't want to necessarily lose. Let's go to my 12-year. And while I pour this, I will explain to you that there are 1, 2, 3 Appleton sipping rums not in this lineup. One is the Master Blender's Legacy. That would kind of fit between this 12-year and this 21-year in terms of price point and shelf level, if you will. The next one up would be 30 year. And then the last product in their line is actually a 50 year, which was bottled in 1962 to commemorate, I think, what was that? 200 years of Appletons. Price points, your VX. Oh, and by the way, I don't know if you noticed my liquor-based sweatshirt that I'm wearing. It's the holiday, so I thought I'd keep it casual. You can recognize some bottles there. And I also have a new wireless mic because the room that I'm broadcasting in isn't exactly friendly for the phone that I'm using. That being said, there's a bar opening up in the home here in my house in February. So starting in February, we'll be broadcasting out of the basement. Okay, back to what I was saying about price points. Price points on VX, you're looking at about $25. Very, very common. You'll see these in most liquor stores. Price point on the Reserve, you're looking at about $35. Price point on the 12-year, you're looking in the $45 to $50 range. And as you can see, this is actually a liter bottle if your eyes are not playing tricks on you. These are just your 750 milliliters. Okay. Your price point on the 21 is, like I said, about 125 to 150 top end. Now, like I said, I do not have the 50, the 30, and the Master Blender's Legacy. Master's Blender's Legacy is actually not available in the U.S. for whatever reason. It's a real shame because everything I've read about the product has been glowing in terms of reviews. It's a blend between the 18 and 30-year-old range. So, I mean, it's a very high-end spirit, and it's got all the things that 21 has and more. But the great thing is it's about $80 to $95 retail. So next time you head up to Canada, make sure you pick up a bottle of that. I hear great things, and I'm actually planning on getting some in about a month. 21, we talked about that price point. We talked about Master Dispenser. 30, the 30-year-old price point is about anywhere between $500 and $650. And then lastly, the 50 is in that $5,000 range. So save your pennies if you're planning on buying a bottle of the 50. All right, let's go into talking about the spirits themselves. The VX. Again, this is kind of where I would suggest you start if you're going to enjoy some of Appleton's rums and you're going to do it neat. You're automatically, I think, you're immediately, I should say, hit with kind of an orange peel, a bit of a zesty, little bit of oak, just a hint of brown sugar. You're seeing that it's not necessarily overly mature, but it has been given a chance to simmer a bit. It's blended within 15 rums, and they don't really give an age on this, so it's anywhere between maybe 3 and 10 years. Again, a bit lighter. Let's see the color we're talking about there. More of like a Bacardi. Yeah, really picking up everything that I did through the nose. Orange peel, bit of brown sugar, maybe some dried fruit. Not overly complex, but very nice. I'm at the point now where I've kind of spoiled myself. I would actually use this with, even a Coke. I've heard the Appleton's folks themselves say they recommend this over a little bit of coconut water. Maybe it's a little bit of ice, maybe a little bit of water to open it up a bit. Pineapple juice is really nice with this. So I think this is kind of a top-end mixer myself. But if you're new into the rum world, or if you're on a very tight budget, I would have no qualms to pick up some BX. Very nice. Let me cleanse the palate, and we'll move on to the Reserve. Now, the Reserve is actually a blend of 20 spirits. And it was it was Joyce Spencer's first kind of, her first stamp on the Appleton's line was this reserve. And it came along in the year 2000 to commemorate their 250th anniversary. And it's a blend of, like I said, 20 rums. It's pot distilled, all oak barrel stored, like the whole line is. But color-wise, you'll see immediately that it is a little darker. If I can grab these papers. It is a little bit darker. You can immediately pick that up. On the nose, I'm still getting some orange peel. However, I'm almost getting a little more fruit, maybe but different fruit. Not citrusy, more of like a dark fruit, like a prune or yeah. And then also you get a little bit of like a butterscotch on the palate. Yeah, very nice. Definitely some vanilla. You're getting more of the molasses influence that is pretty uniform throughout the line. And you just start getting into what they call it a dunder. Basically what that dunder is, it's like the bacteria substance left over when they're done distilling a pot of their rum that a lot of other distillers will throw away. They actually leave it in the distillery, and when they distill their next pot of rum, it imparts some flavor and some personality in this very unique aroma. And you can start to pick that up once you reach the reserve level. Give this one another shot. Yeah, you're losing some of the astringency. Sorry about all the lip smacking. That's just how I taste things. Yeah, nice rum. Now let's move on to the 12 year. The 12 year, as the title tells you, is the first year the first line in the Appleton's family that it does give an age statement. If it says 12 years, it's 12 years at minimum. As is 21, as is 30, as is 50. The 12 year on the nose. Wow, much more to it. Let me give you an idea of the color on this guy. Even more of a step up in terms of color. Let this one breathe a little bit. Nice long fat legs on this guy. Very much mahogany in terms of its hue. Now you're starting to get some of the almost like the oaky, the black tannin flavor and aroma. Almost like a black tea, matter of fact. Almost like maybe a coffee note on the palate. Yeah, really nice. I'm hit with like an almond. An almond right away. Again, little dry fruit. The molasses is even more prevalent than it is in the Reserve and the VX. Caramel. A little less, I use the word a lot, a little less tannicky than these two guys. You can definitely taste the age in this one. Very nice. On my next review, I hope to have a 30 and a 21 and the Master's Blender that we can kind of compare. Until then, I didn't want to kind of leave this guy out, but you know, it'll keep you asking for more. Grade-wise, I will give the VX a 6. Nice rum, like I said, very nice beginner sipping rum. The Reserve, I'll give it 6.5, maybe a 7. It's probably worth the $10 to spring for a reserve if you see it opposed to VX. And then on the 12 year, man, I tell you what, I'll give that an 8. Really solid. Again, especially if your price point in that $45 to $50 range. I'm a big fan. Very nice, very smooth. But at the same time, it does have some age and some complexity. So that's it. Appleton's 101. And we'll discuss more next time, and we'll get into the next Spirit. Thanks so much.